What's good with y'all boys, man? We back with another One Piece video, bro. And look, today we finna be discussing who is going to be the final villain of One Piece. Now, this video might be a little short because I feel like there's really not too much to say on this topic. It really depends on the camp that you in, whether you an Emu believer or a Blackbeard believer. Me personally, I really don't care who Oda decides to go with to be the final villain, to be honest with you. I feel like he can make a W final boss fight, whether it's Blackbeard or Emu. I will say this stuff, the only thing I really do not want, I really don't want a Luffy and Blackbeard team up against Emu, especially if it's one of those, oh, we're gonna call a truce for right now thing, but after this we back fighting for the One Piece. That's the one thing I really don't want out of this whole final villain situation, to be honest with you. But let's get straight into it, breaking down the reasons and options for which one of these characters could be the final villain and why. Starting off with that boy Emu, of course, since he has the most recent reveal. This has a lot of people thinking that he is not going to be the final villain anymore. But let me tell you right here, it is very possible for Oda to do this. Now, people are thinking just because Emu got revealed this early, quote unquote, first off, it's not really early. Emus has been silhouetted for like the last 8 years or some shit like that in the manga, okay? So it's not really early for him to come out. But people are just assuming, since it seems like we're about to get more revealed for Emu than necessarily Blackbeard, that Blackbeard is going to be the final villain. Now, that is a very good option or a very good reason on why you would think Emu isn't going to be the final villain. But then again, we don't have to officially learn everything about Emu here. Emu can come in, we can get a little bit of dialogue, a little bit of lore from him based off the voice century, and we can still have a full mystery based off of the character. Y'all know Oda, bro. With every single chapter, with every reveal, only more questions come about after them. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what happened right here on Elbaf. Because we still have to figure out the lore between Emu even taking over the world in the first place. We still really need to see his real full character, like how he is as a person. We need to see his flashback with Davy Jones, Joy Boy. There's so much of Emu that we still need to see. And also with Emu is I feel like is one of Oda's most fragile characters at the moment, because if he sits here and allows Emu to just go back home after this Elbaf shit and immediately get swiped his fruit by Blackbeard and out of the story, it would be a real waste of a character, bro. And when have we ever sat here and seen Oda build a nigga up for 5-10 plus years and the character is just pointless and out of the story that fucking quick? So while I do think it is very possible for Emu's fruit to be a devil fruit and for Blackbeard to steal it and get his fruit, I just don't think it's going to happen as soon nor as quick as some people think it will. Because Oda can sit here and make Blackbeard not be the final villain, and people won't be disappointed if Blackbeard goes out to Emu or if he just loses before Emu. But if Emu loses like this arc, a lot of people, me included, will be very disappointed about the character and will probably call it one of Oda's most overhyped reveals in the story, to be honest with you. So with that being said, that shows me that Emu is going to have some type of presence in the story, whether it's long lasting or not necessarily long lasting, but you know what I'm saying, long enough to make an impact on the reader and for us to really feel Emu's presence. Because from what we know, he's just been operating in the shadows, and that's why this chapter right here has been so hyped, because we're finally seeing him make moves. If we see him make this one move and then go back home, it's gonna be like, nigga, why do we even get the character? Now, with me saying all that, you're probably thinking that I am on the page of Emu being the final villain. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I have flip-flopped on who do I think is gonna be the final villain every other week when a new chapter drops, when new crazy info drops. And shit, even the last few days while I was thinking about making this video, I was flip-flopping, hearing different points. But after really thinking it through, I think Blackbeard would be the final villain. If I gotta sit here and place my bet, I'm betting on Blackbeard, bro. And I'm gonna break down to you why. The last two most popular figures and or silhouettes that we are yet to be revealed in One Piece are Davy Jones and Joy Boy. Who are these characters most connected to in the most recent era of One Piece? We all know it's that nigga Luffy and that nigga Blackbeard. And that right there is why I think Blackbeard is going to be the final villain. Not just because Emu showed himself too early, but because of Davy Jones. Davy Jones is said by Rocksteady Zebek to be the king of the world in One Piece. And if that is true, that means Blackbeard and Rocks were technically heirs to the throne, which was stolen by Emu. And with us getting Emu right now, this could literally be the build-up on how he got the throne and how he fucked over the Davy clan, which could segue into Blackbeard being the final villain. Because if Davy Davy D. Jones was the original king of the world or the ancient kingdom, it would only make sense for us to get the fake false king of the world, Emu, who has overthrown them and is acting and playing as king. Meanwhile, Blackbeard is in the background building up to be our final villain, who is the rightful heir to the throne, whose family should be ruling the world. Plus, I feel like that parallels the characters very well, and we know Oda loves his parallels in One Piece. Another reason why I'm thinking Blackbeard is going to be the final villain is because he has a lot more personal connection to Luffy. They met ages ago, like right before Skypiea, so Blackbeard's technically been in the story longer than Emu, for one. For two, Blackbeard has done more personal shit to Luffy. Blackbeard has attacked Dragon's base before. Blackbeard is the reason why Ace even got captured to the Marines, and he currently has Garp captive. And we don't know how Luffy or the rest of the world are going to react to this, but eventually we're going to see it, and I wouldn't be surprised if this plays into how Luffy and Blackbeard finally get matched up with one another. Because Luffy's had run-ins with Blackbeard, but he doesn't really seem to think and or care about him too much unless he's brought to his attention. But I know for a fact, bringing Blackbeard to his attention, knowing that he has his grandfather, will definitely get Luffy to lock the fuck in. And the argument can be made for Emu as well, that Emu can potentially capture someone Luffy cares about, like Vivi. Now that can be true, but I do not think that is enough to make Emu the final villain, considering that Vivi is not a family member, nor has Emu done anything else besides the Vivi capturing attempt to make Luffy really feel this distaste for him, like how he would for Blackbeard. But I will say this, I do see a world in One Piece where Emu does capture Vivi, which is what causes the Straw Hats to go to the Holy Land to have their final fight with Emu. I do think that is what Oda is planning here, because why else would he have Emu constantly seeking Vivi out and have this little thing where it seems like Emu has a weakness when he steps out of the Holy Land? I feel like that is how Emu's story ends, with us pulling up to the Holy Land to take him down and recapture Vivi from him. And after that is probably where we will get a moment where him and Blackbeard confront one another after Emu was like on death's doorstep or is very heavily injured after that battle with the Straw Hats. And this could be where Blackbeard steals his devil fruit, like how everyone is expecting him to do. But I'm gonna give a hot take in this video. I do not think Blackbeard will get Emu's devil fruit power or his ability. I do not think we will see Blackbeard with it, and I'm going to give you this answer on why. For one, I do not think Oda is going to reuse this design. This design is too cool and the reveal is so hype. I just like, can y'all really see Blackbeard stealing this shit and Blackbeard having this design? I don't fucking know. Now you got some niggas out here who are saying this is 100% confirmed Blackbeard is stealing this nigga's design because Emu, he is seen to have 3 skulls in the panel, in his final panel of us seeing him on the rooftop. Now that's a very good point with the 3 skull shit, because why the fuck would he have that? But no, I'm gonna ride with my hot take, nigga. Blackbeard already has his final devil fruit, which is why we have not seen him steal one yet. He will not steal Emu's fruit. And you could low-key call that bias, but real question, real shit, do y'all genuinely see Oda giving this cold-ass design to Blackbeard? I really don't think so. And I'm gonna be honest, that played a reason into why I was debating on him not being the final villain before I made this video, but I thought about it a little bit more, right? If Blackbeard is the final villain, we need a crazier reveal than this. What could be crazier than this Emu reveal? And the only thing that could be crazier is if Blackbeard already had his third devil fruit from the jump and we just never saw it yet, which is why he's constantly having off-screen fights. And it would be even fucking crazier if we get Blackbeard's fruit to be revealed to be some Davy Jones-esque fruit or some type of Sea Devil Kraken-esque like fruit, like how people have been speculating for all these years now. Because with the Emu devil reveal being true, or devil abilities being true, the Blackbeard theory of him having a Kraken or Davy Jones type of sea fruit are through the roof right now. So yes, man, I do think Blackbeard will be the final villain of One Piece. I do think it's going to come down to him and Luffy. Him and Luffy have the dynamic there. They have the personal beef to be there. And it would be very poetic for the story to end with the person who was supposed to be the heir to the throne being the final villain over the false god who claimed the throne over him and his lineage. I feel like that's very poetic, and that sets up One Piece very well. Plus, Blackbeard's a true pirate. It only makes it right for the true, most pirate, slimy nigga to be the final boss of One Piece. But let me know what y'all think in the comment sections below. But let me know if y'all agree or disagree with my points. Shit, give me some of y'all reasons in the comment section below on why y'all think Emu or Blackbeard will be the final villain. Who are y'all rooting for? Do you not really care? Like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't really care who it is. Just make the story be good, make the fights be good, make the plot lines hit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, either one of these characters can end up being final villain, but I'm placing my bet on it to be Blackbeard, bro. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out, bro. Peace.